have words of wisdom and share the experience as a member, as a champion, and as a bishop in the ministry of the boys brigade. I just said all fellowship. Can you tell us about yourself?
Thank you. Let me first of all welcome you to our residence and to appreciate you as leaders of the board brigade of Ogun State. Also to appreciate you for your brigade in welcoming me back to Ogun State when I retired as Bishop of Ogun and diocese. Because I remember it's almost 4 years now, by November 21 of 22 or so. It will be exactly 4 years since I retired. And I still have very sweet memory of what we did, welcoming to the city to Africa and leading us from Popoola to the cathedral. I am James Afolabi Popoola, the retired Bishop of Ogun and diocese. And like you rightly mentioned, for about 10 years I was focused on the Central Cathedral at Abeokuta, from where I went over to Ogun diocese when I was constituted as an Anglican bishop. I am married to a woman, and we are blessed with 4 children. Especially that's our family.
Can we know when and where you actually joined the board brigade?
I joined the board brigade in 1967. That was when I was a church agent in Brigade District Church Council. I was an agent at St. Peter's Church in the way just briefly for about a year. Brigade District Church Council was then part of I think a Brigade Archdeacon. There was an Archdeacon in Abeokuta. There was an Archdeacon in Lao. And what used to be a Brigade District Church Council is now the one and the diocese. I was fortunate then that the date President came to work to organize a training for leaders to be for the board brigade. And my district church chairman asked me to go and represent the district church council. So that was the beginning of my journey to the board brigade. Because when I attended that training, that was the first time I met the man called Adara, who is now resting in peace. So 1967, and then immediately, just shortly after that training, I was admitted to the Binding Christian Leadership Center in Akure. And for 3 years, because it was mandatory that you must belong to the board brigade, for 3 years, you were being trained as leaders in the board brigade. Then after that, after 2 years of an interregnum, when I was working as a catechist in church, I was admitted again to the Emmanuel College of Theology. Again at Emmanuel College of Theology, that was between 1972 to 75. It was mandatory for everybody to belong to the body. Again, the late Adara was there, and on several occasions he came to train us. That was the limited extent I had.
Thank you. Now, with the area of what you have just said about when we are joining the body, it's very clear that you have been in the body brigade even before the creation of the state, and so the state, Ogun state, and the state from the whole Western region. What has been your experience passing through that? I know that when you were in when you were in manual technology, I remember you there will be some steps that you have to cover.
Yes. Well, one specific experience I had was the time there was an international camp in Nigeria, and members of the body brigade came from all over the world. I can't remember the year now, but it was held at Shagamu, and about 3 of us represented Emmanuel College of Theology. I was one of the who attended that international camp. That was the period when our father, General Basajo, was the head of state, and I can still remember the frontier with which the man was welcomed to declare the camp open. It was a big affair. My experience then was that it was good to belong to the body because we could see people who came from all over the world to be part of that campus. Right? He told us stories about the founder of the Boys Brigade and what motivated him. And we had reports from different parts of the world of what the Boys Brigade was doing, molding the lives of the young ones, particularly the boys. And that the Boys Brigade had been successful in different parts of the world by attracting those who have become useless youths and both by succeeded in molding their lives. Stories of people who were abandoned by their parents but were picked up by the Boys Brigade in many parts of the world, and such people became great people in their countries, motivated them so much that I felt that the Boys Brigade is more than wearing on uniform or beating drum and so on and so forth. But the Boys Brigade is a group that the church should support, that the government should support, just as we have the Boy Scout movement. And that if these groups are well handled, they could be instrumental in molding the lives by the ones. Of course, you know what the father did when he started the Boys Brigade. People who were boys who were from the street were affected by the uniform, and we succeeded in enlisting their interest to study the world. If there is any time that we need a group like the Boys Brigade, it is now as we pass through this terrible experience in Nigeria. Our youths have gone haywire. Schools can no longer control them. I have had stories of secondary school pupils beating their teachers. On some occasions, locking them up, locking some of the teachers up in their toilets, and so on and so forth. Many of them belong to youth. And by the time even in some primary schools, you have pupils belonging to courts. And leaders of courts are going around, even in schools, teachers may not know, to recruit young boys and girls into courts. It is only when the government see them, causing havoc in the streets that they rise up to do something. But they are groomed in various institutions. We thought it would only be in the university, but it's now rampant in secondary and primary school. So it is a group like the Boys Brigade and the Girls Brigade that can help us to mold the lives of our young ones so that they can become responsible citizens. That was part of my experience. But one bitter experience I have had, which I must let you know, is that sometimes leaders are so unfaithful. Some leaders of the Boys Brigade are so unfaithful. And when I was on the staff of the Cathedral of St. James Grace in Ibadan in 1975. That was the year I started my ministry. I passed out from minor college in 1975, and I was on staff of St. James Cathedral. My brother, the late Prince Ogun, was also a member of the cathedral, and that was the first time I knew him. We find some leaders of the body so unfaithful to the extent that the provost then, who later became Bishop Tayo, almost lost his interest. On some occasions, we had to collect the brigade band sets and lock them up because they would go to functions as if the brigade band was meant for commercial purposes. And the leaders were doing nothing but just to collect money. And I know that the same experience is the kind of here and there. That has been an experience that has been discouraging. But of course, this is not everywhere. This does not happen everywhere. You have bad eggs everywhere. And that is not enough for us to write off the ball again. We want to commend those who are faithful in leadership and have contributed to the molding of the lives of the young ones. We thank God for people like you who are here this morning.
Often harsh your experience. Because we did go to the Western Region through Methodist Church in 1926. Sir, can you give us detail of your experience from the time you joined the BB and the creation of the state in 1976?
I will not be able to say much about that. I have told you that I joined in 1967, and immediately when I joined, I went for training in Akure. So it was as if I was locked up with others in a college for 3 years. And after that, I was out again in the field for 3 years, and then I went back to college again for for another 3 years in the minor college. Came out again and was in the church for 1 year and went back to college again in United for another 3 years. So that had been my life. 3 years in minor college, 3 years in minor college, 3 years in the university. And after the 3 years, I went for the youth service. So the creation of Ogun State was in 1976. That was the year that I entered the university. So I cannot say much, but I know that we were privileged to have the leadership of President Ogun because it was the creation of Ogun State that moved him from Ibadan to Abeokuta, and when eventually I finished my youth service and came back to Ogun State, I met him in the state. He was very active. So he was a pillar of support. He was, I don't know what to call him. He had everything about the Boys Brigade. I was also fortunate to accompany him at the time for the Boys Brigade camp in Yola. Went to Yola, I think for almost a week. He was with us. I'm sorry I can't remember the names of those women, but I was on the because I was the chaplain in Egba Road houses at that time. And the brigade of Ogun State was very active in that camp. That was when we have Justice Odubi, yes, Justice Odubi as the president. That is another great man, the judge of the High Court, but yet has time for the Board Brigade. Every day when I pass by his building, near this Elite Road, the building reminds me of that man and his devotion to the growth of the Board Brigade. I wish we can have people like him these days who are top-notchers in the state. A man that could be a court of the High Court, a judge of the High Court, and will be able to speak on behalf of the Board Brigade to the government. If we have people like that, we should use them. If we don't, I think we can hunt for them. We can hunt for them and give them offices that will encourage them to be active. Because we need people who can speak on our behalf to the people in power. Not many people can go and speak to the governor, but a man of high ranking can succeed in talking to the governor or any government functionary to be able to be interested. A man who will understand what the Board Brigade stands for. A man who can defend the Board Brigade. A man who can speak on our behalf, and the government will listen to him. That is what justice will be was to us. And I'm sure that God can raise people to fill such posts at the present time.
Thank you, sir. From your experience, you know you have been very much part of the state, what you did. At the time, you were chaplain at Milwaukee before you became the provost of the cathedral. And when you became the provost of the cathedral, you were then the first vice president of the state. And that made you to be much more nearer the government brigade at the highest level of the state. What can you tell us about the bond between the states created from the local region then when you became the first vice president of the state, you have more in-depth knowledge of what transpires between the zonal fellowship and the state council. Probably all the other states they want the so-called zonal fellowship, which comprises of Ogun, then it was three groups with all them.
Yeah. Well, what I will say is it will be a guesswork. Because, like I mentioned to you, at the time of the breakup, I was immersed in my studies. And in 1976, that was the year of education, and that was the year that I entered the university. So I was in the university for 3 years. I didn't know much about what happened. But I would guess that what happened in the government circles would have happened to the boss today, because there was a lot of competition when these states were created, and each group was interested in developing their own area, interested in developing their states. And I guess that the boss brigade too would have been some sort of competition. And of course, it depends on who was there, who was leading at that time. I have mentioned that Mr. Good was a man who came from Ibadan and came to settle in Abeokuta. At least he did what he could. I also guess that if there was anything to share, like property or money, that the residual area, which was in Oyo State, would have tried to keep everything to themselves. If there was any property like landed property, they would have wanted to say it belongs to Oyo State and we cannot take part of it. So if there was any fund to share, they would have liked to keep everything to themselves. But what I'm only guessing, I don't know what actually happened because I was not involved. I was not even close because I was concentrating on my study. So I'm sorry, we need to ask somebody who was on the spot there.
Yes, I'm trying to look at when you became the state board vice president.
Yes.
Probably you have some information, however sketchy, to be that what transpired within that period as regards the zone and the state.
Well, 1976 to 79 in the university, and an additional 1 year for the youth service. That was 4 years. So when I was back in Ogun State and I became the vice president, I think they would have gone over that palaver at that time. I didn't hear much about what actually happened.
Really, we are trying to pick here and there, together to form a reasonable thing out of whatever we get to at least know what we don't know.
Yes, I think we would need to do some research. Ogun is gone. Papa Odubi is also gone. I'm sure that there must be some people.
I think I think the only person we have now is the NBO.
Okay.
And we have gone to him.
Yes.
To have this type of interviews at least to get some information. That's why I said we are trying to pick little here and there to put together.
Yes.
Get a reasonable point.
Yeah, but if we can have somebody who can go through some files in the Brigade office that the premises of the cathedral of St. Peter, you will be able to get some files because, like I said, I saw Mr. Kudi as a man who was too much devoted to the work of the Brigade. And you know, when I became the provost, I was living at the provost lodge. This man would be in the office sometimes up till 9 p.m. So he must have kept some documents that can help if you have someone who can devote time to go and look into that place. Of course, the unfortunate thing is that we don't keep documents like that.
Yeah, really, what I've said I was part of this record that really led us to get the letter of release of the 2 plots of land for to us because we have completely lost that land until we ran into the documents. And that was when we made effort to get the property back. The property was, we were shown the site, and we made effort to keep it. We first cleared the place. We had the 9 G of the land.
To drive out demons.
Yes. After that, we just had the impulse. Yeah, I've said that we should do something on the land, and that made us to fence the land. But unfortunately, we never knew that the Archbishop of the Methodist had gone around all the land, and he had been there, so that the land was developed. And at another time, he got there, he saw that the land had been fenced.
Okay.
By that time, he thought probably maybe his family must have come to tell us that he wanted to take over the land. But incidentally, I was the president there. I told him, I just had the situation for I must go and do something on that land. And he said, yes, it is true that I have the inspiration from God. But as he has reallocated the land, that we tried every effort to say to at least retain it, to do all the land before we were able to get what he now gave us. Really, that one also that he was doing to us was a magic, not a dry land. So it's just an extension of that place, that the place they are giving us of the cloud below. And we know, sir, that you have been much interested in the game. That's why that was what gave us the courage when in 2006. Yeah. In 2006, we now talked of, okay, we need support of the bishops, because we looked at it in the past, what has been practice has been to make the bishops, Methodists and Anglican, we make them honorary vice presidents.
Okay.
But when we got into office, we felt, how can a person like me be the president? Then I now say the bishops are honorary vice presidents.
Vice president will be man.
So that mean derogatory office to be. So that's when we now say the bishops should be our patrons. And that was why we now say, okay, when in Ogun State, that's what we practice. Okay. Because it is not practiced all over. But in Ogun State, that's what we have agreed that it's better for us. That's it. And we now put the thing to two ways. Okay, if you are by the call of your office, if you are in Ogun State, you are our patron. Okay. But if you are a bishop in Ogun State and you are an indigene of Ogun State, then we see you as being a life patron. Not because when, for instance, when Baba Tayo was a bishop, he was our patron. He has retired. You see, as gone because it has gone the office. But in your case, you are a bishop and an indigene.
Yes, I know why.
So that was one. That was no. You are not just making Bishop Popoola our patron, but a life patron. And that's what happens with Brigade. That's what happens with about Brigade. And really, it's the same thing with the late Ushoka and Baba Yuwa.
Okay.
Bishop Adebola. Because this we saw these people as a way, I mean, the people that can really propagate and promote the interest of the Boys Brigade. And we expect that at any time, just as we have knocked now, and you have opened to us, we want to appreciate you for that. And we pray that your time of retirement, Lord will continue to produce. Sir, we want to know what your view, and you have said so, about the situation and the development of Boys Brigade in Ogun State, especially between 2001 and now. When I said 2001 was a period of change in government. Let me use that because it was that time that we had the I want to use call them the Olympic, but our frontrunners, people like Abogu, the Brigade Bambo, about Soya. Yes, that was the period they handed over to a classical committee, which now held sway for 1 year and had decided administratively as his president there, of whom I took over. Okay.
But fortunately, again, I don't know much. We are talking about 2001 today, because I left Ogun State in the year 2000. I was constituted bishop end of July in the year 2000, and I went to Ogun State. So I have been away from Ogun State. And when you are out of the state, you have no right to be asking what is going on. Even when you are an indigent, you have no right to be asking what is going on. So, if you ask me to speak about the Boys Brigade in Ogun State from the year 2000 to 2019, we'll have a lot to tell you. Well, I didn't know what was going on.
So, yeah, well, even though we are talking of Ogun State, we are already going to the zone. So we don't mind if you tell us your experience of what Brigade looks like or what it is in Osun State, because that can lead us to some information which will be helpful to us as regards the issue of the zone.
Yeah, that's the news for you. Because the Boys Brigade has become a different thing. From what I knew of the Boys Brigade in 1967 when I joined, from what I knew of the Boys Brigade when I left Emmanuel College in 1975, our experience is that let me talk about what my experience has posed at it was a bit experience. You see, we saw only when they want to arrange for a women's service, we come and ask for money for support from the church. Aside from that, we were busy settling quarrels among the company leaders. Quarrels arising from how they shared money they collected when they went for funeral engagements. To the extent that the Boys Brigade was only known for leading courses to the church. That was the preoccupation of the Boys Brigade. And I thought it was here in Adokuta God Washington found that it was mistaken. And some chaplains reported to me, which of course it was my experience in Nigeria, that they had to seize the Boys Brigade budget from such leaders because that they were not interested in training the boys, they were more interested in using the band to collect money. And even when money was collected, they would not render their account to the company. It was for their personal thing. And because of that, in some places, some boys form their own bandage. I'm sure that perhaps you also experienced that.
Yes,
the commercial, it was a commercial thing, and you are making a lot of money with that. Well, I think by the time I joined the Boys Brigade, when Boys Brigade was growing, we didn't have that experience. We didn't have an experience of captains who are more interested in making money. The Boys Brigade Beach was a thing that was sharing to us. Both boys and officers were highly interested in participating. Most of the officers and boys were happy wearing their uniform during the week to go out and collect money for the Boys Brigade. And they were faithful in raising an account. Yes, they were very faithful. I think it is not like that again. So the Boys Brigade is a product of the society. So it is what goes on in the society that affects the Boys Brigade. There's a lot of corruption here and there. And so one would have expected that by the motto of the Brigade, that there will be discipline among the officers, the rank and file of the officers, and of course, that they would be shining examples to the boys, but it is not so. So I think if we want to be realistic, we must say that we have a lot of work to do to bring back the good days of the Brigade that will involve, involve the members in serious Bible study during the week. The boss will come for Bible study and they will be interested in the drill. The drill is just a way of teaching them this discipline, but it is the Bible study that can mold their lives. I hope you get what I'm saying. So that was what I was trying to make our officers of the beginning of the staff diocese to be more interested in. And thank God for some chaplains who accepted and even wrote some textbooks that the Brigade were using for their Bible study. So we need to ask the boys or members of the Brigade to be interested in Bible study, and that we need to make our leaders to be responsible and to be accountable, so that we can have the support of the parishes that own the Brigade.
In your speaker, you mentioned about the some of the priests handling the syllabus for the Bible study the Brigade. And we know that the Bible aspect, the religious aspect of the Brigade is supposed to be supervised by the clergy. But in a what way do you think we can approach some of our chaplains that they are not, they are what they are interested in is because they want to be decorated as chaplain. They are not interested in knowing what goes on around the organization. How as regards the issue of Bible study.
Well, I think what you should do is to have a meeting with the chaplains. Perhaps chaplains to be drawn from all over the dioceses in the state to attend a workshop where you can guide them about their functions, because the spiritual aspect of the Brigade is to be handled by the chaplain. Every vicar of the parish is the chaplain of the Brigade company. If he is so busy and has some staff with him, they can delegate that office to somebody younger who will be reporting to him. But he's supposed to be interested, he's supposed to know what goes on, he's supposed also to be in charge of the Bible study. As a matter of fact, he's supposed to attend the meeting during the week. So what we can do is to make sure that we perhaps need to start with Abeokuta, for instance, and have a meeting with the chaplains of the two dioceses and then the Methodist diocese and talk with them. You can then use that as a foundation for having a statewide meeting. Some of them don't know, And I don't know what happens in colleges these days. I'm not sure if the importance that was given to the boys brigade training in our days is still there in colleges. So maybe they don't have time for it now. Because you know that in colleges these days, um, a lot of attention is given to acquiring degrees. So, the degrees are in some cases secular, even when it is called the religion studies degree. But what they miss in the college, we can give to them by organizing the type of teaching that I'm suggesting. Um, Again, to arouse their interest and then to let them know their duties to the boss brigade. I want to say that the boss brigade must not die in our time. The boss brigade must be revived. The hope of the church is in the boss brigade to mold the hearts of the young people. And to also say that you know that the Anglican church is different now, different from what it used to be. The Anglican church of today is different from what it was even when I was provost in Ake. There has been tremendous changes, spiritual changes. The leadership of the Anglican church in Nigeria is different from the past. In the past, to go to meetings, I'm sorry to say this, in the past, to go to meetings for days, sometimes for a week, there will be no time for Bible study. We will be discussing administration. For these days, every morning, the first thing is Bible study. And of course, you are aware that we now have textbooks about Bible study throughout the length and breadth of the Church of Nigeria. And there are a lot of programs for the youths that is going on. Every Friday, in its own time, we create something new. So the church is growing, and if the church is growing, the board brigade must grow. If there is revival in the Anglican communion, the revival too must extend to the board brigade. And that depends on the leaders in the state. You have a lot of work to do. And I pray that God will guide you so that in your time, God will give you go, and that the spiritual aspect which they are missing will be revived in your name.
We want to thank you very much, sir. While we pray that God gives you much, many more years to live on the surface of the earth in good health and wealth, we want you to give us an insight into what you want to be remembered after your long sojourn on earth.
Yes. Well, this is a question that people have asked several times. What do you want to be remembered for? I want to be remembered for the little that I have been able to make. I want people to remember me as a man who came into office and contributed something, and that he left the place better than he met it. This has been my motto, a guiding principle. Because you know, I was a vicar at Christ Worship Overseas. God made me to do something for which I think posterity will remember me. Or if they don't remember my name, at least they can remember the work that I was able to do. You can say the same thing about my time at St. Peter's Cathedral, and of course also as the bishop for 19 years. So I would want people to remember me that this is the man who came and left the place better than he left it. But I must also let you know that I'm so much interested in the Boys Brigade, and that you have also done some things that made me believe that even in retirement, I must still be involved by giving me an office, which is we call it a life office. Thank God I'm still alive. I want to be part of what you are doing. If you have a meeting and you think I could be useful, let me know. I will attend your meeting because I don't have anything to do now other than to pray for my children, pray for the church of God, pray in particular for the place where I served for 19 years so that work can go on here. And so if you have a meeting and think Bishop Popoola is in town, you let me know. If I'm in town, I will attend and be part of what you are doing. But I want to thank you because you have been there for long now. You have been in the Boys Brigade for long. You were part of the celebration when I was appointed provost. The Boys Brigade was there in 19. What is that now? I can't remember the year. That was in 1990. Yes, that was 1990. You were there. Yes, you were there when I was consecrated bishop. The Boys Brigade was active. That was in the year 2000. And you were there when I retired. Welcome me back to the city. So I thank you for this. Even when my brother was away from Nigeria, we were communicating. And I thank Prince for the part he played that day when we returned and we were having a Thanksgiving service at the cathedral. Thank you so much. I pray that God will bless all of you and grant you sound health so that you can do more for the Boys Brigade. Thank you.
In conclusion, sir, can we what hymn is your best hymn that you will be part of what we remember you?
It's a Yoruba hymn.
Yes.
Number 329. Wọ́n fẹ́ràn rẹ, ìwọ ò tì mí. Can I give some books? Let me give some books so that we can sing together. It's our family name.